Beautiful. Unity Unleashed. That's what I'm talking about. Hello, everybody. Let's stand up and sing something to get our blood going, shall we? Reach out and spread a little love around. Reach out and spread a little love around. If you want to make a difference in this world, there's just one thing to do. You gotta reach out and spread a little love around. Oh yeah. Reach out and spread a little peace and joy. Reach out and spread a little peace and joy. If you want to make a difference in this world, there's just one thing to do. You gotta reach out, spread a little peace and joy. Oh yeah. Reach out, sing a little harmony. Reach out, sing a little harmony. There's just one thing to do. You gotta reach out, sing a little harmony. Oh yeah. Reach out, spread a little peace and joy. Oh yeah. You gotta reach out, spread a little love around. Isn't it nice to know that if you want to make a difference in this world, there's just one thing to do? Sing a little harmony, spread a little love around, spread a little peace and joy. Any one of those. I think the thing is you have a smorgasbord of options. All you need, just do one of them. Just do one of them. I am so glad to see that the weather did not keep you away this morning. You know, a lot of folks were watching the news. I know a lot of my students who are having final exams tomorrow are watching the news very closely, praying for snow. But you know, it's too early for that. It's just too early for that in Middle Tennessee, don't you know? We're so glad to have you here at Unity of Music City today. It's a place of authentic transformation, and there is no more transformative time than this time of year. It doesn't matter if you have a Merry Christmas or a Happy Hanukkah or a joyous Kwanzaa, or a blessed solstice. They're all wrapped into one with all kinds of good juju going on, and it feels good, doesn't it? Yes. Got a few quick announcements for you. You might have seen this on our Facebook page. We support, of course, the Dodson Chapel Food Pantry, and what they are asking for is 15 pies, that we provide 15 pies by this Saturday. Now listen, here's the thing. I was told by someone who knows that pies don't last a week. That's what I've been told. So my recommendation would be that you bring pies like Wednesday, Thursday, during the day when the church office is open, right? Which is 10 to 2? 9 to 2. Sometime between 9 to 2. If you come at night for something this week, bring them and you can leave them on the kitchen counter if you so choose. But we need 15 pies for this Saturday. I think we can make it happen. Today, this afternoon, from 4 to 6, there's Reiki and Restorative Yoga upstairs with Becky. And then this Tuesday, December 11th, we've got Reiki with Bonnie from 7 to 9. And Tuesday, December 11th, also this Tuesday, is Beliefs 101 with Becky Estorita in the upstairs studio. I think if you bring a pie Tuesday night, you might be okay. All right, so you got 2 options to come Tuesday night and bring a pie, but let's get those happening. I'll tell you what, let's stand up and sing again, shall we? Because I feel the need to wake up the room this morning. I think this will do it right here.
I will walk it, I will talk it, I will be love every day. I will live it, I will give it, all along the way. If we want the world to see the love that lives in you and me, we gotta walk it, talk it, live it, give it every day. Talk talks, walk talks, but walk talks louder than talk talks. Walk talks, walk talks, but walk talks louder than talk talks. I will walk it, I will talk it, I will be love every day. I will live it, I will give it, all along the way. If we want the world to see the love that lives in you and me, we gotta walk it, talk it, live it, give it every day. Walk it, talk it, live it, give it every day. Walk it, talk it, live it, give it every day.
You know what that song's called? We've had a long conversation about that because, you know, Judy B wrote that song, of course. Judy B on the piano over there wrote that song. She called it Love in Action, which makes total sense. But I got to tell you, every single time she says, let's practice Love in Action, we go, what is that song? We have never heard of that song before in our lives. We're going to change it to Walk It, Talk It. Just a couple more quick announcements here. This week we have Lunch Bunch meeting at Wednesday at 11:30 in the Namaste Cafe. They're working with the book Creating a World That Works for All by Sharif Abdullah. I know that's been a very powerful study. Just a reminder also, those of you who come out for Wednesday night classes, we have no Wednesday night classes during the month of December. You'll make it through somehow. Come to Lunch Bunch, go to Reiki, do something. But please put it on your calendar. Starting back up again on January 9th, we'll be working with the book, The Untethered Soul. Reverend D said something beforehand to me. She said something about how this is like reaching back and finding out if there's anything in your past that is still kind of holding on to you and keeping you down. I said I had no idea what she was talking about. I have nothing like that, nothing at all. But I'm still going to come just in case. B?
Nothing at all. I challenge you to take the Love and Action song to your Christmas parties and sing that talk it, walk it, walk it. I challenge you. I would like to remind you that we have prayer chaplains here. If anyone would like to have prayer, please don't be shy about asking. And we have some brand new prayer request forms here if you want to place a prayer request in the prayer box for yourself or for someone that you love and that you're concerned about. Thank you. So today's sacred reading. Peace is possible, even on the busiest of days. I am never far away from what the Apostle Paul called the peace that passes all understanding. So the affirmation, I let my Christ light shine by being a messenger of peace. Together, I let my Christ light shine by being a messenger of peace. The story of Joseph is a story of peace and the art of allowing. From the space of allowing, he became a messenger of peace. First, recognizing within himself the desire to fix the situation for Mary and for himself. Joseph did not understand why he was finding himself in the middle of what could be life or death for Mary and scorn or ridicule for himself. Secondly, he was willing to let go of the fear that was present, that same fear that created the desire to want to fix or change what was happening. Sound familiar? Of course it does, because the Christmas story is your story. It is my story. It is the story of all mankind. The true learning from Joseph's perspective is that he finally was able to allow the experience to be what it was, not knowing how it would play itself out, but knowing that it was his job to be peace. In this now moment, I may find myself in the very same place as Joseph. When I recognize the need within me to fix or change an experience, I do a reset breath. This breath signals my head, my heart, and my gut. Something different is getting ready to happen. I am about to experience peace right here and now. I then can affirm, I let my Christ light shine by being a messenger of peace.
So just settle back in your seats. And affirming that we are messengers of peace, let's do a reset breath. So exhale. And then just allow your breathing to balance itself. And check in with yourself. Am I feeling peace right now? And so if need be, give yourself another chance to exhale anything that might be within you that is unlike peace in this moment. And then just give your breath a moment to settle and to balance itself. Because the breath that you are breathing is the very breath of God. And it knows exactly how to balance itself when you allow it to. And so when I get in this peaceful place, when I allow myself to slow down and breathe and just be in this moment now, I experience what it is like to be peace. And so we're just going to take a moment in the silence to be peace. In the silence. I experience again what it feels like to just be peace. And I remind myself that as the Buddha stated, there can be no peace without, unless there is peace within. As I am peaceful, I then can touch that place of holiness inside me, that Christ light, knowing that I am holy in this moment and nothing but goodness comes from me.
street somewhere, someone shoots a gun in the midnight air, and I don't know why. Somebody lives and somebody dies, somebody wrongs and a mother cries, and I don't know why. Some things we'll never understand, other things you change if you can. Oh, peace, you'll find it where the heart is. The heart is right where love lives. Love can always find a way. Oh, it's the something that reminds us it's not too late to find us. One day we may believe in peace. They haven't spoken in 30 years after angry words and bitter tears, and I don't know why. Best of brothers and best of friends, one mistake and their story ends, and I don't know why. Some things we never understand, other things we change if we can. Peace, you'll find it where the heart is, and the heart is right where love lives. Love will always find a way. Oh, it's the something that reminds us it's not too late to find us. One day we may believe in peace. It's all about forgiveness, with God as my witness. I want to live to see right where love lives. Love can always find a way. Oh, oh, oh. It's something that reminds us it's not too late to find us. One day we can be in peace.
I don't know if any of you could relate to that song, or maybe you just know somebody like that. Especially the part of haven't spoken in 30 years. Because some of us maybe know somebody that walked away from somebody and they haven't spoken in 30 years, and there's still that angst and animosity on the inside. Most of you that are here know that I have an ex-husband who is not my son's father, who was very, very abusive. And after 5 years, I walked away from him, and I carried animosity and really hate, because I feared for my life, in my body for many, many years, until I got to Unity. And I realized that it was not hurting him, it was hurting me. It was making me sick. It was making my life miserable, and I had to let that go to have peace inside of me. That's what that song is about. Did you also hear the part about a gunshot at the very beginning? Well, today we're going to be talking about peace heals stress, and we're going to be talking about Joseph's journey. But before we get there, how many of you remember this? If you've never been a part of that, that happens here on this land in April. The next date is April 27th. Somewhere on the 20s, right? And our intention every year is to create a human peace symbol with all kinds of people. All different colors, all different races, all different religions. And I bring that up today to say that all of you know somebody that could be touched by coming and standing in this peace symbol with us. So I plant that in your mind today. There's an African American minister in Antioch by the name of J.J. Green, who for the very first time came last year and stood in our circle with us. This will be the 4th year when we do it in April. And he was talking to me. He came with Enoch Fuzz, and they were just talking and carrying on. And he was just being silly, and all of a sudden we all stopped, and we joined hands, and through the air wafted that song. Give me the name of that song. We Are the World. And the first words were, "There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world will stand together as one," and big crocodile tears started flowing down his face. And I thought he was going to squeeze my hand off. Those are the types of things we want to create here. So I plant in your mind peace. And who do you need to invite into the circle? Because we're talking about the law of attraction, believe it or not. And if our lives are not peaceful, I even said in the meditation, where does it have to start? The Buddha says that. You can look out there all day and it can be chaotic, but peace has to start inside of you. We haven't gotten that yet as human beings because we want to go fix something. Did anybody hear Bee's reading this morning? Any of you got the idea that if you could fix somebody else, then your life would be more peaceful? She was the only one that was honest and raised their hand. It's like, no, it has to start inside of us. So I'm going to give you a little mini lesson on the law of attraction this morning because I know a lot of you study the law of attraction and you probably know this piece, but the next piece is the piece that's more important. But the law of attraction is the basis of your world. It's about vibrational energy. We looked at that last week. That everything is energy. Your energy, that chair you're sitting in is energy. It's alive. First time I ever said that, somebody went, whoa! Its vibration is lower than yours. If it wasn't, you couldn't sit on it. Right? Your universe and all that is, things of like vibration are what? Things of like vibration are drawn to each other. So wouldn't it make sense that if your vibration was peace, that things would come to you that were peaceful? That's not always exactly the case. So I'm going to share with you why that is. Because the more peace and the more love and the more joy that you are, the more light you are bringing to the darkness. I've said this many times. When you turn the porch light on in the back of your house, what comes? Bugs. That's why this work is so different than other religions or other spiritual paths, because we are clearing ourselves up to be peace and love and joy. And we're going to draw some things sometimes that are not that. Isn't that special? But it's not for us to become skanky like that. It's for us to continue to be love and peace and joy. So I'm going to ask you, how's it working for you? Look at somebody and ask them how it's working for them. You want to know why it's difficult? It's because we get stuck on this piece of the law of attraction and we go, this stuff, shit, don't work. I hear it all the time. That is a bunch of malarkey. It does not work. It's because when I start getting myself purer and cleaner, it's for me to stay there and not let something else or somebody else pull me off of my vibration. So this other piece is very, very important, but we don't always talk about it. The art of allowing. Now let me say before we get involved in this, a lot of people think that means allowing somebody to be a tutor. Just be a tutor. Well, number one, I'm going to tell you, you can't make them change. You got that piece. But number two, the art of allowing is not about them. It's about you allowing your vibrational energy to stay at love and joy and peace, no matter what that is. I'm going to say that again. Because people get confused. They go, oh, that means that I have to allow Judy to do whatever she's doing today. It has nothing to do with Judy. It has to do with me allowing myself to be love and joy and peace no matter what. Because the bottom line, and I had a conversation with a prayer chaplain this morning and went, oh, I just got it. If there is a desire of my heart that I'm wanting to create, I can't create it from anything less than love and joy and peace. Can you understand that? Which is why some of us get all squirreled up, because we get in the middle of somebody's stuff that is not ours to get in the middle of. And we are not allowing ourselves to stay clean and clear. And then we go, this is not working. Well, it is working. The art of allowing is the practiced process. The what kind of process? I am not perfect at this. I don't know anybody in the world that is. The practice process of deliberately choosing your subjects of attention. That's the first part. I deliberately choose what I put my attention on. If I watch 12 straight hours of CNN or Fox or whatever, what is my attention going to be on? And what I find is even if I watch it for 5 minutes, then I have to breathe and reset myself. I've taught you the reset breath. Use it. When something comes across my radar, I have people all the time sending me messages. You need to read this. I'm like, oh, yay, raw duty. Look at what so-and-so is doing out there. I'm like, oh. So sometimes I read it and then I reset. Because whatever that was something skanky. Does that make sense? And so I go, okay, I've read this, so at least when the person asks me, I can go, yeah, I read that. Because whatever that is negative to you, it might not be negative to somebody else. There's something else you need to be aware of. If it's negative to you, you've got to reset. Because you've got to deliberately choose your subjects of attention. What are you paying attention to? With keen awareness of how that perspective, what? Feels to you. Feels to you. When I put my attention on this, does it make me feel good? There's all you need to ask. When I put my attention on this skanky pot right here, it makes me feel bad. Why would I want to put my attention on that all day long? Have you ever asked yourself that? This is not the easiest thing to begin to look at because some of us think we're champions to change the world. It's got to start right here. I cannot help anybody do anything if I am not peaceful and if I'm trying to tell them how to be, because I've never met one person, my 2 sons or Judy or anybody else, that wanted me to tell them how to be. They don't want me to. Do you want people to tell you how to be? No. So why do we think that we can just walk up to somebody and go, you know what, I know exactly what you need to do? Huh? By deliberately choosing thoughts that feel good, thoughts that what? Feel good. Huh. How many of you know that you hang out in thoughts that don't feel good for years? Why? I'm just asking. Ask yourself, why would I do that? If I knew there was a better way, why would I choose to hang out in something that feels bad for years and years and years?
You have to get past the default setting.
Can you hear that? You have to get past the default setting. That's what I think I'm supposed to do. This is reprogramming your brain. You achieve vibrational alignment with the source of your being, whether you call it God or universe or whatever you call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. But if I want to be, I am holy, only goodness comes from me, I have to align with that every day, sometimes 50,000 times in one day. Do you understand that? Because something in the world, oh, look, there's a chicken, and I get all excited about whatever that is, and then I start feeling bad. And then up comes my fix-it Denise, my Miss Aries, who thinks she can fix the world. Or at least that poor chicken, right. And in that moment, I am not allowing the source of my being to flow through me. Can you hear that? Hence why the law of attraction goes in some of our lives, because we're attracting exactly what we don't want because we put our attention on it too much. So everybody reset for a minute. It's all okay. We're going to learn how to do this. I promise. So I want to tell you another metaphysical thing that I learned years and years ago. I've tried to say it here, and as I told B. Liff earlier, I said I say things for many, many years, and eventually it sinks in some places, even in my own head. Okay? The Old Testament starts with 2 chapters of the story of creation, the way you want to create your world. It is not about some big old man with long white hair sitting up on a cloud going, poof, there's going to be a giraffe there and a whatever there. It's about the story of creation. But did you know that the first 4 Gospels in the New Testament are about the story of manifestation? Can you take that in? Whether or not you believe that Jesus was born of a virgin or whatever you believe, I'm not here to make you change that. But I'm telling you, if you look metaphysically at the story of the birth of Jesus, the birth of the Christ, the birth of light on this planet, it is the same way you manifest in your life. The same way. The Catholics have had it down better than some of us for years through Advent, because they focused on faith, which we focused on last week. This week we're focusing on peace. The next week we will focus on love. And the next week we will focus on joy. And if you focus on those 4 vibrational energies, you will manifest anything you want in your life anytime. Some of you are going, yeah, right. But the people that generally say, yeah, right, are the people that cannot do that. Can you focus for a 1-hour period on only faith, peace, love, and joy? There's the test. Maybe 30 seconds, maybe 15 minutes. How long can you hold that vibrational energy without moving off it? Yeah, I know we need to sit in the dark and hide in a hole, right? So, how does Joseph have anything to do with this? Last week was Mary. Mary had to have a whole lot of faith to step forward with what she was doing. Joseph was the bringer of peace to the whole situation. How many of you men have ever had to coexist with a pregnant woman? Yep. You ever had to take her on a journey on a donkey? Probably not. She probably wouldn't have loved you very much for that. So I'm just going to read some of this to you. This is how the birth of Jesus came about. His mother Mary was pledged or betrothed to be married to Joseph, but before they were married, she was found to be pregnant. Because Joseph, her husband, was a righteous man and did not want to expose her to public disgrace. He had in mind to divorce her quietly. I'm going to pause there for a minute. In those days, if you were pregnant and not married, they stoned you to death. Take that in. It didn't matter who you were. Can you hear that? Some of you have up a wall that you didn't take that in. If you were pregnant and not married in those days, you were stoned to death. End of discussion. It was the law of the land. And so Joseph was supposed to marry this woman, realizing that she was pregnant, and he thought, uh-oh. Because if I take her in as my wife and she's already pregnant, she's going to be killed, and I am going to be a public disgrace. Can you hear all that? About what was going on inside his mind. This is kind of a mess. We don't really think about the story of the baby Jesus being born in the middle of a mess, do we? But it was. Just like the way you are supposed to create light on the planet. Most of us will not bring light and plant it on the planet until we get into the middle of such a mess that we don't know what else to do. Because we think we got it. I got my life, it's really wonderful. But when my life starts getting into a mess and I don't know what else to do, that's when I go, oh dear God, somebody help me. Somebody. Anybody. And we realize that we need a little faith, we need a little peace, we need a little love, we need a little joy. So there was an angel that appeared to Joseph. You remember last week an angel appeared to Mary? Well, the same thing happened to Joseph, this big old giant 12-foot angel. Hello. How you doing? I have no idea what he would say to the angel. Other than, shit, fire, where'd you come from? Maybe. And the angel, the first words out of the angel's mouth were, don't be afraid. You remember those from last week? Don't be afraid. Joseph was already afraid. I'm supposed to marry this woman. She's pregnant. I don't know by who. Somebody said the Holy Spirit, but I don't even understand what that means. Don't be afraid. The angel said, she is going to have this child, and you're going to call this child Jesus. Except in the Greek and the Hebrew, they say Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Wow. Joseph was scared to death because of a certain situation in his life that seemed overwhelming to him. And he could not figure it out. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever had a situation in your life that you could not figure out? And you were scared? Scared. Did a big 12-foot angel ever appear to you? That might be a good thing, because it might take you out of your head for a moment and go, whoa. Some of you, a few of you, were here when Grandmother Silverstar was here, and we had one standing right back there that supposedly is here every Sunday morning. Here for us not to be scared of this unity journey that we're on. Because you all, whether you know it or not, chose to come here to hear this message today so that you can go back out into your lives and do what it is you came here to do, which is to anchor light on the planet in whatever way is your way, of chosen way to do that. So when Joseph kind of awoke from this big thing that was going on with him, kind of out of his mind deal, seeing this angel, he did what the angel told him to do. He took Mary. Now, before we finish that story, I want you to see two very important things about the law of allowing, because can you see that Joseph was allowing things to be what they were and attempting to not be scared? So Dan, read that to me for a minute out loud so everybody else can hear it. To manifest more easily, which is what we all want to do. I want to manifest things in my life, and I want to manifest them more easily. I have to give them a chance to be easy. Talk to somebody beside you about what that means to you. So I want you to hear something. These are channeled words. For those of you that scares you to death, I promise no big devil's going to jump out here in just a minute and grab you and eat you up, okay? But these are channeled words through Esther Hicks. I just want you to hear them about what that means. Just kind of open your mind and be willing to listen to these words. Normally, when we have some sort of issue, we try to dig in and figure out what's wrong, find the solution, and if it feels good, go for it. But when it doesn't, which is usually how the scenarios play out, instead of just stepping away, we dig in even further. Does this sound familiar? We keep trying and we keep searching and we keep racking our brains, and our mind is telling us we have to get this resolved, and we can't step away until we have secured that which we are seeking. But in this energetic state, we just keep moving further and further away from what we want. Can you hear that? The negative momentum builds, the unpleasant feelings intensify, and what we want continues to elude us. Just breathe. Here's the thing, if you want to move more easily into a state of allowing, if you want to manifest with greater ease, if you want to be able to pull back more and just let things be taken care of, you have to give the universe a chance to work its magic. Now talk to that same person about what you heard differently right now. So when you're ready to face this direction, look at number 2, which is much more important in our consciousness on our planet right now. Deb Moore, holler that one out.
Stop seeing the value in suffering.
Wow. Even those of us that are in New Thought think it's holy to suffer. It's supposed to be hard, hard, hard. If I don't do it hard, it ain't worth it. It's supposed to be hard. Got to earn it. Think about all those things that our parents told us. Most of our parents grew up during the Depression. You have to remember that, because that's a different consciousness. Those of us that are in the lunch bunch, we talked about that there's a new program coming out by Greg Braden, and what he says is that our parents brought to the planet in 1950, the idea of competition, conflict, suffering, those types of things. That was the way you got forward in the world. I have to be in conflict. I have to be in competition. I have to suffer to get it right. We are changing that paradigm, and so what's happening right now in our world is there's this big old whoop, because some of us are going, I don't have to do it that way anymore. But the world is pushing back a little bit, because that's the old consciousness that's dying. You understand that? Look in politics right now, what's going on. That old paradigm is trying to die, but they're hanging on to it like a hair in a biscuit. Don't you like that? Think about how you have to try to get that out or turn it back into the cook. It's like, ooh, Lord, mercy. But that's the way that old consciousness hangs on in our world. We don't have to suffer. So I want you to hear this. This is also from Esther and Jerry Hicks. Are you taking or allowing the expansion, or are you beating the drum of what causes the expansion? I want you to hear that. Some of us are going, I want love and joy and peace, or whatever it is. I want a new car. But I don't want this one. I want good health, but I don't want to be sick. Can you hear that? Guess which is louder? Guess which one the universe hears more than the other one? Many of us, even in New Thought, are beating the drum of what we don't want loudly. Loudly. and then wondering why the universe is confused. And we're sending it out to everybody all over Facebook. We don't want this. Don't send it out on Facebook. Send out what you do want. It's a gentle shift in consciousness that our world hasn't quite figured out yet, and so we're having a hard time understanding it inside ourselves. Knowing what you are wanting and appreciating knowing what you are wanting. The most important question in your life is, do you like the journey on the way? Do you like the journey on the way? Or do you want to keep beating the drum of what you don't want? Because you're not going to enjoy the journey on the way at that point in time. So we're going to add a little something, something to Joseph's story to make it even more exciting. If you think your life is chaotic, in those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. Everybody had to be counted. And they didn't send somebody from the census place into your house and knock on the door and say, how many people live here? The entire world had to go to a certain place to be counted. Isn't that interesting? The entire world that they knew of right there in that one little place. And everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and the line of David. And he went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. All of those sound like blah, 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 until you think about what they were doing. Just when you think things can't get any worse, that's what he had to do. He had to travel from Nazareth to Jerusalem to Bethlehem with a pregnant woman on a donkey. They didn't have Uber. There's a mountain in between. It is 65 or 70 miles. It takes 4 to 5 days with a big pregnant woman riding on a donkey. Your life can't be that bad. Wild animals were out there. Take this in. Bandits were out there. Weather was out there. They had to carry food and water with themselves. I didn't have to go through that when I was pregnant. Thank the Lord. So how did he do all this? How did he remain peaceful? He had to allow peace to be who he was. Or he could have never gotten through that. So where can you use that in your own life? What I'm going to do in just a moment is put you in a little bit of a meditation and walk you through a 7-step process to use. Each one of these processes have an affirmation that goes with them, and that is in the bowl for you when you do the sacred walk of abundance this morning. It is a way of being peace in the world no matter what. And when we are done with this, Judy Blackwelder has written a new song that she's going to do, and I'm going to back her up on it. So I don't know if you want your merry men to come join you right now. Probably. That's what I call them, her merry men. But as you can see, these go for a whole week. These were created by Deepak Chopra to be used for the week of Advent that is about peace. It's about becoming peace. So on Sunday, you are working on your vibration of just being peaceful, like we did this morning in a meditation. And on Tuesday, you are thinking thoughts of peace. And sometimes we had to go back to Sunday and be peace before I can think thoughts of peace. And then Tuesday, you're going to be feeling what peace really, really feels like, because you have been peace and you've thought thoughts of peace, and now you know what it feels like to be peaceful. And then on Wednesday, and I will tell you, those of you that could do this, it would be good if you didn't speak till Wednesday. I know that's not possible for some of us. But on Wednesday, if you've done your work on the other 3 days, you will speak peaceful things. So the deal is, if I'm not speaking something peaceful and I think, oops, I reset. I go back to Sunday and Monday and Tuesday before I speak again. And then on Thursday, it's doing small acts of peace, like smiling at somebody, patting on somebody, opening a door for somebody. On Friday, it's about creating peace. Where is there a place in my world that I know that I could be of assistance? 15 pies. There are many other things. And then Saturday is the big challenge. Is there somebody in my life that I could share this process with? Not telling them they have to do it, but telling them, you know what? This has really helped me. And I just want to share with you how it's helped me. And here it is. So, I would suggest that you not necessarily close your eyes, because these affirmations are going to be on the screen, that you just reset your breath right now. And that you look up at the screen. And allow your breath to balance. And knowing that if there is anything unlike peace inside of you, just allow to reset that one more time if you need to exhale. And so we are being peace in this moment and allowing the vibration of peace to flow through us. I allow the vibration of peace. I allow the vibration of peace. No matter what may be going on in my outer world, I allow the vibration of peace. And then I begin to think peace. May I be peace. And I might be looking at a television, or I might be in the middle of Walmart, or I might be in a car on the interstate. May I be peace. May I be love. I may be in the middle of an argument with somebody. May I be love. I may be experiencing less than health in this moment. May I be well. I may be experiencing many things that would pull me away from the vibration of peace. May I be happy. And after I have allowed the vibration of peace and I have thought peaceful thoughts, I begin to feel peace flowing in my body. I feel peace. And I drop those 18 inches to my heart space and I feel love. And I send that energy to all of my organs. And I allow that energy to flow in and through my bloodstream. And to go to all my cells. I feel well. And I allow this energy to affect my entire life. I feel happy. And when I am in the vibration of peace and thinking thoughts of peace and allowing myself to have those vibrations, I begin to be able to speak that to another. May you be peace. And I draw to mind someone that needs this peace right now in this moment. May you be peace. I draw to mind someone who needs love in their heart in this moment. They need love in their life. May you be love. I draw to mind someone that is struggling with a health challenge, and I affirm, may you be well. And I bring to mind someone that I know needs a little happiness this season. And I speak, may you be happy. And then as I go throughout my day, I begin to act peaceful. I share peace by smiling at someone, opening the door for someone, giving someone a hug. I share peace by. And then I look a little bit further out into my world, and I see a situation that is desperately in need of peace. And remembering that I have to be the vibration of peace to bring peace to that situation, I begin to create peace there by being peace, thinking peace, feeling peace, speaking peace, acting peace. And then I bring to mind someone that could benefit from this process. Not that I would ever tell someone how they needed to live their life, but it's somebody that I'm close to that I know that is desperately wanting some peace in their life right now. And so I share with them, this is a process that I'm practicing. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm practicing it every day. And here's how it's helping me.
I pray for strength just to get through some days and know what's mine to do and when to walk away. I don't always understand how some things came to be, but the answers I need are all inside of me. When I lay down at night to rest, I wanna know I've done my best, that I've caused no harm, maybe shed some light on all that's good and all that's right. I close my eyes and say a prayer, giving thanks that God is there. It's in that thought I always find peace of mind. This walk of faith will lead me on to all the places that I belong. When it seems my world will surely fall apart, I just need to listen to my heart. 'Cause when I lay down at night to rest, I wanna know I've done my best, that I've caused no harm, maybe shed some light on all that's good and all that's right. I close my eyes and say a prayer, giving thanks that God is there. For in that thought I always find peace of mind, peace of mind, peace of mind.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. It's the time now when we get the opportunity to give back through the giving of our tithes and offerings and other gifts. If you will take those tithes in your hand, those gifts in your hand, and say the offering blessing with me. I live in the midst of infinite abundance. I give freely and fearlessly to life, and life gives back to me. Please join us on the sacred walk of abundance.
open our hands and our hearts and our minds. And we know that this week, particularly the second week of Advent, is about peace. Living, loving Spirit, allow each of us to be that vibration of peace that this world so desperately needs right now. And in this moment, we bless these tithes and offerings that have been given from that space of peace and love and joy. And we believe these tithes and offerings will multiply and manifest more for us, so that we may bless those that are in the line of blessings coming from us in this moment. We know that as we give, so shall we receive, heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, for that's the law, and so it is.
So you know when Reverend D was talking about letting easy things be easy? Well, I was sitting down there all by myself. I didn't have anybody to talk to, so I have to tell y'all what I thought about that. In the 14th century, there was a man named William of Ockham, and he created something called Occam's razor. And we've been using it as a law of reasoning for the last 600 or 700 years. And it says this: all other things being equal, the simplest answer is always correct. Letting easy things be easy. I'm going to carry that with me throughout this week. I hope you do too. Right where you're standing, let's sing together to close this service.
I will be a force for good in this world. Each day I'll give my best. I will be a source of constant love, bringing hope and happiness. It's more than just the words I say. It's more than just the prayers I pray. It's acts of kindness I do each day. I'll bring peace and joy and love. I will be a force for good in this world. I'll reach out to those in need. I will be a light where darkness lies. By example I will lead. It's more than just the words I say. It's more than just the prayers I pray. It's acts of kindness I do each day. I'll bring peace and joy and love. It's more than just the words I say. It's more than just the prayers I pray. The Spirit has my source. I will stay the course. I will be a force for good in this world.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
People all over the world join hands, start a love train, love train. People all over the world join hands, start a love train, love train. And the next stop that we make, oh, it's gonna be England. And tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you miss the chance to get on board. Oh, 'cause we're gonna let this train ride.